Hello, welcome. And to start this model, we need a 1x2 sheet of paper. That means that from a square, you have to fold it in half and cut it. So you have a rectangular shape that has this side that is a half of this side. And if you're, I suggest you use a really thin paper like this. This is a wrapping paper. And I suggest you also to use a really big paper. So the A4 sheet of paper is not big enough. You have to use it. You have to use a sheet of paper that is at least 50% bigger than A4 paper. So let's start, and if you want this cool pattern on the final result, you should start with the white side up, which is brown for me, but it doesn't matter. And let's start folding in half both sides. That means you have to fold it horizontally and vertically. Unfold and fold it on the other side. Unfold, and now take this side of the paper, take this side and fold it on the half we just made. So fold it up to here. Unfold it, and we basically have to make from this square a water bomb base. So we just have to make a diagonal fold like this, both sides, and then we can make a water bomb base. Unfold, take the paper like this and make a water bomb base. So basically you have to close the paper on these two creases to make a triangular shape over here and squash the paper down on the creases you already have to make a complete water bomb base. Once you have this water bomb base, take the paper in this position, and let's take the upper flap, open it on the pocket and squash it down. Try to keep this center line aligned with the other center line. When you have everything properly aligned, you can crease the paper like this. Now take the upper flap again, fold it downwards like this. Take this side of the paper and fold it up to the middle. Like this. Once you've done that, unfold, take the flap and put it in the original position, and take the other flap, fold it up, and repeat this step. So fold this down to the middle, unfold, and keep the paper in this position, because now we take the bottom flap and repeat all the things we just made on this flap. So we squash down the paper, we take the bottom flap, we fold it upwards, we take this side of the paper and we fold it in the middle. we crease, we unfold, and we repeat on the upper flap. And unfold again. Now we take the upper flap again, we fold it down just one flap, just one layer. And you can see, I'll take the paper in this position now. You can see, not in my video because the paper is too dark, but there are two creases over here. We have to make a petal fold. That means that we have to open the paper over here, fold it up in order to make an horizontal fold over here, so where the two creases start. Like this. And we just close the two flaps over here on the creases we already have. We don't have creases over here, but we can just adjust the paper in order for it to reach the verticalness that is required. So it also makes a nice diamond shape on this side of the paper, as you can see. Take the upper flap and fold it downwards like this. Take this flap, fold it on the right, take this other flap, fold it on the right, and we have the same situation over here. So we just have to repeat this petal fold here as well. And take the diamond on the upper flap and fold it downwards as well. Now take just one flap on the right and fold it back to the left. You can see now that we have this shape over here. What we have to do is to take this triangle, fold it up, just straight up, and fold it back down. Now we just have to tuck this little triangle inside the paper, and in order to do that we just have to take these two flaps, open them a little bit so that we can see the insides of this section of the paper. If you crease hard enough on this side, you can just pull the paper a little bit, and as you can see, this triangle is trying to get inside by itself. Help it by following this horizontal fold, and when you're done, just close the paper on the original position, which is this. And you should have now this configuration. Let me just adjust the paper a little bit. There you go. And this is what you should have right now. What we have to do now is take this flap here and fold it up on the horizontal line here. I'm trying to align this to the horizontal line. Crease sharply, because now we have to collapse. So unfold, open over here in order to make an inside reverse fold. So we just have to pull the paper inside, to push the paper inside on the creases we already have. This should be the final result, but take just one layer and fold it upwards in order to make this bigger diamond shape. Repeat the step on this side. Crease sharply. Remember to crease sharply. Almost every time you have to crease sharply. especially when you have to collapse inside reverse and all that good stuff. See, I didn't crease sharply enough. Now I struggle. There you go. At this point, we have to shrink those two diamonds. So we take this side and fold it up to the middle, like this. And repeat on the upper flap. After you've done that, you close the paper like this, so you fold the middle downwards. And you repeat on the other side as well, of course. Now we have to do a familiar thing, which means that we have to take first this flap and fold it on the left, and we have to fold this side of the paper just as we are supposed to fold on a paper airplane. So like this. Take the flap like this and we repeat on the other side. And we take the flap and we just take it back to the original position. Now your model should look like this. And what we have to do is to make a lot of zigzag folds on this side of the paper in order to make the tail. So to do that, first we make an horizontal fold over here, so where there's this point here, this meeting point. And to make it, we turn over the paper so we can take this tip over here and align it with the central line. We now scoot, roll the paper down and up until we reach this point. When we have found this point, we just start creating the crease from that. Like this. Now, open the paper just slightly, like this. Because we have to pinch this paper. As you can see, I also turned over the paper as well. We pinch this side and we roll it upwards until it reaches this triangle over here. When the two sides of the paper are touching and everything is properly aligned, so the central line, the middle line is following his path, so we have everything perpendicular, we can crease and open everything like this. Now we take the bottom side of the paper and we fold it up to the tallest crease we have, so that's the last crease we just made. Unfold, take the bottom side again and fold it up to the last crease we made, which is this one. Make sure every time that we have everything perpendicular. And then we unfold sorry, we just leave it like this, and we take this crease here and we fold it downwards, so we make it a mountain fold. Like this. Now we make a crease on this line. So what we have to do is to take all the paper, fold it upwards until we reach this side here. When we have all the layers aligned with this side, we can crease. Once you've done that, unfold everything. And what we have to do now is basically repeat this last step 2 more times. So let's take the bottom side, fold it up to the last, to the nearest crease we have. So that's the rule. You take the bottom and you fold it up to the nearest crease. Once you've done that, keep the model close. Try to remember all the things I'm saying because that's the rule. We have to do that once more. So take this crease, fold it as a mountain fold, and keep doing the pleats we just did the last time. So do 1 pleat and then fold down the other crease and repeat the pleat folds like this. Do it 1 more time until we get rid of the white part, the white side of the paper. So fold, mountain fold like this, and fold, pleat fold again like this. Now, once you have this configuration, you have to create a new crease right over here, right at the top. And the crease will be a mountain fold. So the final result should look like this. Everything is going down like this. Once you've done that, unfold again. This time, turn the paper over and repeat these things we just did. So again, the bottom goes to the nearest crease, and then you continue the pleat folds until you've reached all the creases you already have. So I'll see you then. Now, once you've done all this, turn the paper over. You can see that you have another crease over here. Crease. Fold up this, and once you've done that, make another mountain fold. Don't bother. Don't mind what I'm doing. I'm just adjusting the paper. Make another mountain fold on this side, like this. So when you're done, you should have the big triangle as the first layer. So not like this. The big triangle is under the pleats. You should have the triangle on as a first layer, and then the pleats down under it. When you've done that, take just 1 pleat, just the first pleat you have at the bottom, and open it up like this. That's not just 1 pleat. There you go. Now take the big triangle and fold it down like this. And make a crease that starts here at the bottom and goes up to the middle line, which is here. Unfold and repeat on the other side, because we are gonna make a rabbit ear fold over here. What's a rabbit ear fold? You close the two creases we just made, and also the middle line here. Like this. Now, once you've done that, you can take the paper in this position and you can close here, but don't push too much, because if you have a thick paper, you're gonna make weird creases here that you don't want. We also want this to be open, so you don't need to push to squash the paper just to prove a point. Just close it slightly, because now we're gonna work on here. We're just gonna connect the two sides of the paper. And in order to do that, take the paper like this, so those, which are gonna be the legs, on facing up. Remember the two pleats we opened? Those are the two pleats we opened. So now take your time, align them as precisely as you can. And once you've done that, take this side of the paper. I'm gonna fold it, and then I'm gonna show you how I did. What I did, sorry. I folded the paper diagonally like this, as you can see. So you have to fold it like this. Then take something to pinch the paper right there so it doesn't open itself. Like a paper clip or whatever you want. And repeat the step on the other side. It's gonna be harder because there's gonna be a lot of paper in the way. But you just have to make a crease in order to fix it in point. So even it's kind of dirty, mine, it's gonna be okay like this. Take this off, and what we have to do now is to fold on this crease here up. So we just have to lean these two layers on the nearest layer we have on the upper side. Try to fold the whole paper like that. You're gonna struggle a little bit on this side because there's gonna be a lot of paper. Don't feel bad if you use something to push the paper inwards like I'm doing. Once you've done that, try to close the paper, the whole thing, on all the pleats you already have. And I know I said you shouldn't push the paper here, you shouldn't crease everything, but I'm not doing it. I'm just pushing the inside. I'm not creating new creases by accident. And now you should have this side of the paper connected, so it looks like one, with no glue, no scotch tape, nothing. Which is the basics of the origami. Origami means that. Let me just adjust the paper a little bit. Now, once you've done that, as you can see, the tail is done. You can keep it like this, push it upwards, or, whatever you want. You can experiment that. In order to make the body now, we take this side of the paper, we fold it up like this, and now we're gonna outside reverse this crease. So we unfold, we open the inside here, and we fold it up like this. Like a sock. You just roll it up, roll it outwards like a sock. Now we make, okay. Now we make the beak. In order to make a beak, we just do the same thing. So we outside reverse. And be careful, because if you use a thick paper, I've noticed that once you do this, you might rip the paper in the middle, here and also here and here. So be careful with that. Doing a bigger outside reverse fold, there we go. And now we have to do an optional thing, which means that if you're not able to do that, that's okay. But what we have to do basically is to fold this side up to this side, but watch me when I'm doing this and don't do it yourself. As you can see, when I'm doing this side of the paper is not coming, it's not cooperating, which means that this side of the paper is not gonna be folded. We just have to push it outwards a little bit and squash here in order to create a new fold on this side here. This is a swivel fold. So if you don't know how to make it, or if I wasn't being really good at doing it, you can look it up and maybe figure it out. Once you've done that, keep the beak open like this. We're gonna adjust it later and repeat the step on this side. SWIVEL, swivel fold. So now, as you can see, after you've done this, the beak is kind of messed up. What we have to do is just push it downwards, and those two sides of the paper will just be like this, open a little bit. So you have to close them down in order to kind of make another zigzag, like here, another pleat fold. And the last thing to do with the beak is to make another zigzag pleat fold. So I'm folding it downwards like this, and then I'm folding it upwards a little bit further from the first crease I made. And I know it's hard to see. We just have to push the beak inside in order to make a zigzag fold kind of thing, like this. Now let's make the legs. In order to make the legs, we have to do the same thing we just did on the beak. So we fold it up kind of on the first third of the whole length of the leg, and we fold it downwards like this, and then we close everything. And we repeat on the other side. Check if they have the same length, and if they have, you're golden. Now make just the feet. In order to make the feet, It's just a basic outside reverse fold. Now the paper is really small, so it's gonna be challenging. We just have to make an outside reverse fold. And when you've done that, as I said, you can take the tail and keep it whatever shape or form you want. And your peacock is done. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.